An Unholy Alliance by Dr. Michael Youssef, Saving Our Civilization, an Action Agenda. Protect Young Minds from Indoctrination. In 2015, the mother of a 7th grader at a Tennessee middle school was shocked to learn that her child was required to write out the 5 pillars of Islam and recite the Muslim confession, the Shahada, which states, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet." Appearing on Fox News, this mom, Brandy Porterfield, said that this assignment seemed to be the state sponsoring religion in schools. It does seem like it's indoctrination. In New Jersey in 2017, 7th graders in a class on world cultures were studying a unit on Islam. A mother, Libby Hilsenrath, was checking her son's homework when she learned that her son was required to watch a video that claimed that the Quran is a perfect guide for humanity and Allah is the one God. It concluded with the statement, "May God help us all find the true faith, Islam." Students were also given worksheets with a link to a website that explains how to convert to Islam. I'm not opposed to schools teaching students about Islamic culture and beliefs, but we should all be opposed to classroom indoctrination. These are just 2 instances of classroom indoctrination. In Islam, that happened to make the news. Similar cases of indoctrination are occurring all the time in hundreds of schools, and most pass under the radar of parents and the media. This indoctrination of our students involves not only Islamic proselytizing, but indoctrination in an array of destructive ideas: radical race ideology, white collective guilt ideology, radical gender and transgender ideology, radical diversity, equity and inclusion ideology, DEI, Marxist victim-oppressor ideology, and anti-Western and anti-American revisionist history, to name a few. Woodrow Wilson was a leader in the early progressive movement. In a 1914 speech at Princeton, before Wilson was elected President of the United States, he declared, "I have often said that the use of a university is to make young gentlemen as unlike their fathers as possible." He openly declared his goal of indoctrinating young minds to reject the values of their parents, a radical education agenda that leftists and progressives are still pursuing today. Right now, more than 10 million children in America attend schools where teachers and other employees are required to hide a student's gender transition from parents. This means that if a child even expresses doubts about his or her gender, school employees must hide this information from the parents. Radical teachers sometimes coax impressionable children into confessing doubts about their sexuality, especially if a boy seems a little effeminate or a girl appears a bit tomboyish. Across America, many schools are quietly placing children on a conveyor belt to so-called gender-affirming care, and not a word is said to the parents. The only surefire way to defend your children against these ideologies is by either homeschooling them or placing them in a biblically sound private Christian school. I stress biblically sound because I have heard stories of private schools that unknowingly hired progressive teachers or staff members who sneaked their ideologies into the classroom. Though I defend Christian homeschooling and Christian private schools, I know that these options require a huge investment of the parents' time and money, and many parents simply can't afford these options. So I applaud Christian families and Christian teachers who remain within the public school system and seek to protect children from radical indoctrination. Whether your children are educated in a homeschool co-op, a private school, or a public school, there are steps you should take to protect them from indoctrination. First, pray daily for your children. Pray with them in the morning before they go to school, pray for them during the day, and pray over their beds at night. Ask God to protect them physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Ask God to give them boldness to speak openly about Jesus. If you are a grandparent, pray daily for the souls of your grandchildren. Only God can perfectly protect your children and grandchildren against the attacks of Satan and the lies of this fallen world. Second, know what your children are being taught. Attend every parent-teacher conference, every open house, every school board meeting. Ask questions. Talk to your kids about what they are learning. The dinner table is a perfect setting for these conversations. If a child tells you something troubling, avoid overreacting or jumping to conclusions. Gather all the facts before you act. Affirm your child for being candid with you. In June 2025, in the case of Mahmoud versus Taylor, the US Supreme Court declared that parents have the right to opt their children out of any lessons on religion, sexual orientation, or other subjects that conflict with the family's religious beliefs. You therefore have a constitutional right to opt your children out of secular left indoctrination. Third, empower your children to be witnesses for Jesus at school. Help them memorize evangelistic scripture passages. Talk to them about witnessing. Encourage them to take training in personal evangelism. The following is a list of organizations that offer programs for training young people in how to naturally share their faith. Dare to Share, Child Evangelism Fellowship's Christian Youth in Action Program, Youth for Christ, Word of Life Student Fusion, with a focus on short-term mission trips, Cru, formerly Campus Crusade for Christ, InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, of Christian Athletes, Evangelism Explosion's Changemakers Program, and the Billy Graham School of Evangelism Online. Fourth, teach your children how to think for themselves. Encourage them to ask questions. Teach them to respect all teachers, but to also be aware that some teachers may promote non-Christian values. Encourage them to tell you if a teacher seems to push an ideological or anti-Christian agenda. The Lord has commissioned parents with the crucial role of instructing children and shaping their character and values. The Bible emphasizes continuous godly instruction in the home. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Deuteronomy 6:6-7. Fifth, join forces with other Christian parents and grandparents. Don't try to fight these battles alone. Gather with other prayer warrior parents and grandparents in a biblically grounded church. Keep each other informed about local, state, and federal issues that affect your children. Gather in person and keep in touch on social media. Pray together with like-minded parents and grandparents for the protection, salvation, and sanctification of the precious children in your care.